Here at the cemetery. As we begin the service, I would ask if any of you has a cell phone or any other noise-making device, please turn them off at this time. Officiating the service here today is Rabbi David Oler.
We have gathered together here today, sharing our extremely deep sorrow, to bid farewell to our beloved Leah Darlene Sandri. We recall the wonderful blessing of her too short life. We are grateful for the many very precious memories which shall endure with us as long as we live. What though the radiance which was once so bright be now forever taken from my sight? Though nothing can bring back the hour of splendor in the grass, of glory in the flower, we will grieve not, rather find strength in what remains behind, and the primal sympathy which having been must ever be, in the soothing thoughts that spring out of human suffering, and the faith that looks through death, and the years that bring the philosophic mind. We meet today to celebrate the life of Leah Sandri, to express with love how much Leah meant to us. We try to support one another, to affirm life, to affirm how important Leah was to each of us. We join together to express our love, to share our very deep loss as we celebrate her life. In these brochures, we turn to the 23rd Psalm and read together. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. In the original Hebrew, the 23rd Psalm is Molet David, Adonai Roi Lo Echzar, Bino Deshe Yarbitzeni, Almei Menuchot Yinahaleni, Nafshi Yishovev, Yancheni B'ma'aglei Tzedek L'man Shemo, Gam Ki Elech, Begate Salmovet Lo Ira Ro Ki Ato Imodi, Shiftecha Umish'antecha Hemo Yanachamuni, Taroch Lefonai Shlocha Neged Sorarai, Dishanto Vashemen Roshi Kosi Revaya, Hachtov Chesed Yurlefini Koim Mechayai, Bishafti V'Veit Adonai V'Orech Yamin. The love of the human heart is the most beautiful of all the realities that we know, the most real. It is the richest gift of our humanness. It is the love that joins us together as lovers, as husband and wife, as parent and child, and as friends and neighbors. Whatever the length of time may be, to have known something of this is to have experienced the supreme privilege of being human. The anguish of parting cannot destroy this most real of all realities. The love has been, the affection has existed, the ties have been woven, life has been shared, the joys and the sorrows. This has been as real and strong as anything in life. The love that once was born can never die. It has become part of us, of our life, woven into the very texture of our being. Each of us would wish to leave some part of ourselves. Yes, every one of us, some memory, some influence for good. So here and now, we bear witness to the one we knew in life, who now in death bequeaths a subtle part, precious and beloved, which will be with us in truth and beauty, in dignity and courage and love, to the end of our own days. A righteous woman, though she dies before her time, shall be long remembered, for an honored old age does not depend upon length of time, nor is it measured by the number of one's years. For understanding is gray hair, and a blameless life old age. Being here for a little while, Leah fulfilled long years. Her manner was a source of light and joy to others. Eshet Chayil miyimsa v'rachok mitnim nichra batach ba le ba'ala v'shalal lo yechzar gimalatu tov v'lo ra kol yemei chayal. A good wife who can find. Her worth is far above precious jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and nothing shall he lack. She renders him good, and no wrong all the days of her life. She opens her hand to the needy, and extends her hand to the poor. She is robed in strength and dignity, and cheerfully faces whatever may come. She opens her mouth with wisdom. Her tongue is guided by kindness. She tends to the affairs of her home, and eats not the bread of idleness. Her children come forward and bless her. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women have done superbly, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who lives with the spirit of reverence is much to be praised. Place before her the fruit of her hands. Wherever people gather, her own deeds speak her praise. We are, each of us, overwhelmed with a deep sense of loss. We are deeply bereaved that our vivacious, vibrant, energetic, committed Leah Sandri, who loved life so much and had so much to live for as a young woman, wife and mother, has died. She had been so hopeful that she would be able to find a cure, be able to survive. She suffered so much, realizing that she might not, and then likely that she would not. The treatments she endured were a terrible ordeal. She struggled so hard to live, with constant transfusions at first, and then received a graft that ultimately attacked her organs, and she was unable to survive. The anguish of this loss will be with us always. Leah was married to Jason for 14 and a half years. They were the love of each other's life. They were a deeply caring and loving couple. Devoted to each other, they always stood together. They hiked together, enjoyed gardening together. They had wonderful conversations and always challenged each other to grow, to be better. Jason is so grateful for the straightforward, honest relationship that he had with Leah, which he believes helped him to grow to be the strong, loving, and very sensitive man he is today. And Jason, as a young husband, had a similar impact on Leah. Leah used to speak of Jason as her Renaissance man. He could fix things, make things, and had so many other varied talents and interests. She was so happy to be married to Jason. She felt especially blessed to have two sons with Jason, Harris and Ambrose, who are 7 and 3 years old. Their mother, Leah, loved them so much. She was totally devoted to them and treasured the gift she saw them to be. It took some time to have them, and she was so grateful and overjoyed with Harris and Ambrose. She thought about them constantly. When she became ill, she thought about the impact on them and was concerned for their care even more. She wanted Jason to stay with her at the hospital, but urged him always to go home to be with their boys. Leah and her mother-in-law Sharon loved each other, and Sharon took care of Harris and Ambrose through all of this, enabling Jason to focus on Leah. Leah had many friends. She was very close to people throughout her life and very devoted to her friends, and they to her. Leah was a planner by profession and as a person. A planner at Pfizer, Leah dealt with global demand for critical pharmaceuticals regarding which countries and who needed them the most. Her priority was always the needs of patients. Ironically, some of the drugs she had worked with saved her for a time. Leah was excited when she came to our congregation, Kadima, to reaffirm her Judaism through study and then through conversion. The latter was not necessary because both of her parents were Jewish when she was born. But her mother was a Jew by choice, but somehow her documents could not be located. She went through the process. After searching for the documents, she went through the process of conversion before having children. It was really just a formality. I'm telling you this for a reason. She did it as a formality just to be extra sure that the status of her children would never be questioned. Leah was very committed to the idea that her children be raised in the Jewish tradition. She, joined by Jason, continued her studies, and even after she became ill, she would drive a long distance to bring Harris and Ambrose to religious school in our congregation. Leah was very proud that her grandfather, George Baskin, helped to liberate Dachau at the end of World War II. She wanted her sons to be proud of this and to know her family's heritage. I often think of how Leah cried at the synagogue on the Saturday following the election in 2016. And she cried bitterly. She was prescient, more than most of us. She was worried about the impact that would evolve on the Jewish community. And thus, she was very worried. She said, I just had a new baby, a Jewish baby. And she was really scared about what might come. And that was the year before Charlottesville in 2017. Because she saw the election as an expression of the sentiment of the people. Leah served on our congregation's board and was treasurer for a time, and was much admired and loved in the congregation. A few years ago, she gave a speech at our high holiday services just at this time of year. It was a wonderful presentation in which she described what Judaism and being part of the congregation meant to her. Leah had a very deep sense of moral propriety, concerned about protecting and supporting the truly needy, and was very strong in her convictions. She had been a rugby player in college, and her courage and strength to face challenges always came through. In one of our conversations, we discussed not long ago the amount of time she needed to spend alone in isolation. I suggested to Leah that she could use the time to take online graduate courses to advance herself professionally. She seemed motivated to consider doing so. She had so much to live for and wanted so much to survive and to celebrate life with Jason, Harris, and Ambrose. Ironically, when some of our congregational leadership visited cemeteries about 5 years ago, Leah was here and was very attracted to this particular area to my right, which is a section that is a natural green burial area. She valued very much the lessened environmental impact, and found the section where she will soon be buried to be particularly beautiful and natural. Little did any of us know how painfully soon she would be returned here. Leah was a very beautiful, special, and beloved young woman. Our hearts are broken today. They really are. We will all miss her dearly. When evening twilight fades away, the stars, invisible by day, shine forth against the darkness of the night. So too at death of one we love, in the darkness of our sorrow, the light of her life shines forth, clear and bright, radiant, steadfast, lighting our way, lifting our spirit and our courage, a memory, an influence, and a presence to be treasured to the end of time. El Molei Rachamim, Shochei Bamedhomim, Hamitzei Menucha Nechana, Tachat Kanafei HaShechina, B'ma'alot Kedoshim Utehorim, Kezor Rakia Masihirim, Et Nishmat Leah Bat Avraham Shocholi Olamo, Began Eden Tehem Menuchata, Ono Barachamim, Hasti Reho Beseser Kanafech Olamim, Utzror, V'tziror Chayim Et Nishmata, Adonai Nachalata, V'tanuach, V'shalom HaMishkavat, V'nomar, Amen.
This concludes the service here. We'll begin with the interment in just a few moments. Following the interment today, the family will be sitting Shiva at the Sandri residence, 30586 North Gossel Road in Wakanda. That information's on inside the funeral service folder you should have received. If you did not receive one, they are available as you depart today. I'd also ask that you note the family has asked that memorial contributions be made to the Aplastic Anemia and MDS International Foundation, or St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, or Save a Pet. That information's in the service folder as well. For the many of you that are watching online, that information is on the website you are currently on. As we depart to go to the burial site, which is within the trees down there, we're going to have the deceased, her immediate family, and pallbearers follow this pathway. We'd ask all of the other people that have attended to please go down the far pathway, and we'll meet at the grave site, which is, again, within the trees. At this time, I would ask everyone to please rise, and I would ask the pallbearers to please step forward.
Thank you. Give me 1 more second.
Again, we'll ask all of the other guests to please follow the pathway down to the back. You'll see where the gravesite is.
Yoshe v'seisir oyom v'tzil shadayim slovnon Omar onon v'achsim v'tzurasil hayatako Yatzil chom mipach yom v'tzil v'chavod Yavraso Yosef loch v'sachas k'nafok v'tzil Sino v'socheiro amito Yosiro